Hey, what's going on everybody? Tony here with Dan Hurst Gaming. This is just a video of some benchmarks I ran on my PC, just kind of showing where it's at graphically at this exact point in time. The main purpose of this video is just an introduction. I'm going to introduce my gaming character, Dan Hurst, or Evil D. Like I said, my name is Tony. I came up with Evil D / Dan Hurst back in early 90s. He was just my character that I made throughout all of my game consoles, and he was just a different persona of myself. He was the guy that could get in there, get the job done, and say anything and do anything he wanted. Murder, mayhem, talking trash, just having a great time, no limits. So anyway, he just kind of stuck from the early 90s, and is still relevant to this day in my gaming life. So I started out at a young age on a good old Atari system, turned into Nintendo, all the way up until the Nintendo 64, and that's kind of when I gave up on Nintendo. Got into PlayStation, had a PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. Had an Xbox on launch day, then I got an Xbox 360. I went through like 3 of those, because they were junk. The drives were always failing, red ring of death, all that. So by 2010, I fully gave up on consoles. I was done. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to PC and I'm gonna build my first PC. And, I always had, just bottom line PCs that were pre-built from stores that I picked up, and they were always eh. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. So I messed up when I built my first PC. I didn't do enough legwork on looking around and research, and I ended up buying a A10 6800K APU, and it was crap. The system always suffered from lag spikes, and it was just generally slow. I think I'd bought a R7 370 at the time for the graphics card. I had a 120 gigabyte SSD that was overpriced back then. It was alright. So I continued on and learned from my mistakes. I had an Intel system for my last system. It had a Pentium G4560 in it, with about 8 gigs of Crucial Ballistics RAM running at 3000 megahertz, 120 gig SSD, 1 terabyte gaming drive. Unfortunately, I didn't do a good job on saving up for my graphics card, and I had a RX 460. It got the job done. It was okay. So, at the beginning of this year, I built my new system. I had been building since about, back in November of 2017. I've been purchasing parts. This one is an AMD-based system on the new Ryzen platform, or newer Ryzen platform. It has a Ryzen 5 1400. I know it's not the greatest CPU, but I got a great deal on Black Friday, so I jumped and I got it. I paired it up with another great deal on the motherboard, ASRock AB350M. It does overclock. How far it's going to go, I don't know. I only have the stock CPU cooler, so it's only overclocked to 3.65 gigahertz on the CPU. I've got it paired up with single stick, 8 gigs Crucial Ballistics RAM at 2666 megahertz, overclocked to 2933. That's as far as I could seem to get it to go. Paired up with a silicon powered 240 gig SSD, and I was saving up for a GTX 1080, but right after the Christmas season ended, you know what happened to GPU prices. They just skyrocketed. The 1080 was already going to be hard for me to save up for it, around mid 500 range, and then it pretty much doubled up to darn near $1,000. So I said forget it, and I picked up a GTX 970. It's a Gigabyte G1 Gaming Edition. I picked it up on the used market for just a little over $100. It's not the greatest graphics card, but it works for now until I can wait for GPU prices to normalize, or maybe the new line will launch soon or something. Other than that, there's nothing all that special about my PC. I've got a few gaming peripherals with it. I got a Razer Kraken USB headset, Logitech gaming keyboard and mouse, 32-inch Samsung screen. Other than that, it's not that fancy. Gets the job done. Anyhow, so that's kind of an introduction of what I have and what I'm using. This is my benchmarks on everything. Like I said, CPU overclocked to 3.65 gigahertz. Stock cooler. The GPU's only overclocked 100 megahertz on the core and 150 on the memory. I didn't go any further, just simply because I can't get the CPU stably at any higher with the stock cooler, so there's no reason to push the graphics card. It does help a little bit. I get, I don't know, probably about a 15% gain on my frames per second. Anyhow, so that's the introduction of my PC. Back to Dan Hurst. Like I said, that's my gaming persona. He's the guy that can say anything, do anything, you know, in the online gaming community, in the video game realm. It's grown since I was a kid, like I said. So you'll be seeing that more relevant on the channel. I will be getting into some gaming. I've got a couple people that I play online with. I'm getting things set up to where they're comfortable with recording with me. So we will be seeing that here in the future. Like I said, you'll be seeing Dan Hurst getting in there more often. I got some skits that I'm writing up, and you know, we're just gonna have some fun on this channel. Nothing serious, nothing crazy. It's just, my channel's gonna be about fun. So when you see Dan Hurst, he's really not a serious guy. Don't take him seriously. It's just for fun. So hopefully nobody gets offended with the things he says about games. Anyhow, so look forward to that coming soon. About mid to end of 2018, I am going to try to get into streaming. I've got a few more products to pick up, and I've got to get familiar with the software, and maybe I can get onto the Twitch platform. So look forward to that coming in the future. Anyways, thanks for listening to me ramble on about my PC, my gaming, and Evil D/Dan Hurst. Stay tuned for more content. Thanks for listening to me, guys, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.